But I did. I used to be. Oh, Ninja left. Okay, it doesn't want to watch. But yeah, I used to be like a DDGer
I don't even know what that
before he
means.
went like insane.
He
It was like
he
it's just
seems a
like
little
his
weird.
little fanboys.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't. I think that his stance on the Israel Palestine thing is really fucked up. But
Oh, that's why.
also,
Okay.
he also
Um.
the clip, the him and Nick Fuentes thing. I think that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, they had intimate relation. I mean, yeah, it just goes to show you there's
That
no principles. You wouldn't be getting intimate with someone like that.
yeah, I don't
But
think he
yeah.
has. I don't think he has solid morals. I wouldn't like. I'm gay as hell, and I wouldn't be with Nick
Yeah.
Fuentes. Like
Oh, he's that ugly.
he's not ugly. I just think his personality is ugly.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's just a casual thing though, you guys believe in like casual stuff.
Uh, you know, well, don't generalize me with the entire left. That's a bad
Oh,
idea.
all right. So are you telling me that you don't?
Personally, I don't do those things.
Okay, well that's based.
I have a
There
girlfriend
you
who I
go.
am committed to.
Okay. Well, that's also based that it's a woman.
That doesn't mean I don't like men, but I also like
I know.
women.
Yeah, you're bi. I get it. We understand.
I used to say I was
Or
by
pan. I don't know
myself.
if you like trans people too. Do you like
I
trans
in
people?
fact do.
What do you? What about them do you find? Do
I
you
mean,
find attractive?
have you seen Hunter Schafer? Be honest.
No, I never seen them.
Oh shit. Hunter Schafer is a trans woman, and
Okay,
she's
let's
very
see.
good looking.
Let's see here. Uh, ba-da-ba-da-ba. Hunter Schafer.
Yep. You wouldn't be able to tell.
No, I wouldn't be able to tell. You're right. Yeah, that she looks good. She looks good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hit that though.
Well, no,
Um,
because you don't like
yeah,
wiener.
yeah. Oh, what? She still got the wiener? It's
I
crazy.
think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't
That's
know.
wild.
Most trans people keep their wieners. I'm just gonna be honest
Oh,
with you.
okay. Well, that's. I mean, it's probably better that way,
I
honestly,
mean,
because that
yeah,
means they could
because
just that means they could reverse it. So when they realized it was the wrong thing to do, so
I mean, for most of them, if they go as far as changing their identity, it's not the wrong decision. But you know what? That's you're comfortable with who you are, so I mean, I'm not surprised that that's exactly how you think. So,
oh yeah,
um,
definitely.
do you have a BO2 installed? I'm downloading BO3,
Yeah, I'm
but
playing it.
oh, that's what you're playing right now.
Yeah, playing Black Ops 2 custom map.
Ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about trans people, religion, or capitalism first?
Ooh, that's a lot of questions.
Yeah, I don't
I
really
don't. I
know.
was gonna ask you what we should start with actually, because
Okay.
I,
What is
the
is there
first time
anything that you get
I
particularly
talked to
pressed
you,
about or no?
the first thing I talked to you about in your chat was more social issues related, because that's all I
Okay.
understood at that time. Like I didn't like quite have as much of a grasp on it.
Oh.
If I'm being honest, but I've
So now
done
you know about economics or
a bit more. Yeah,
okay, well that's
I'm
good.
a bit more in tune with the economics.
Um
Granted, I
I'm
did
actually pretty
finish
center
reading.
left economically, but I want
That's
to know what you
fair.
think. I don't know if you're a communist or whatever.
I I read the Communist Manifesto. It's not what the media makes it out to be. I'm going to be very honest. I expected it to
I've
be.
read the Communist Manifesto. I don't think it's evil or anything. I think Karl Marx is just a philosopher and he was philosophizing. I think any economist who actually puts that in a place is kind of whacked out of their mind. But
I don't know about that.
okay.
I think that the class struggle thing is very important. Um,
No, it is. I agree.
I think there's ways to fix it within the capitalism though. So that's the thing. I think that
Yes,
there's
exactly.
ways to fix it. That's the problem.
Yeah. So my basic stance is I believe in relatively free markets. I also believe in government intervention and social safety nets. So like free healthcare, I would support this. Free college, all that sort of stuff. But I think the only way we could get to that is if we stop foreign aid all across the board, and we stop spending our tax dollars unwisely in other avenues. Especially with housing illegal immigrants and things like this. So to
Illegal
basically,
immigrants, I kind of understand
okay,
because they're illegally there. But
yeah,
I also do think that the thing with immigration is options should be like more open. Like the laws on it should be a little less strict, in my
I
opinion.
think it should be more strict. I believe in immigration quotas.
Mm, I don't know.
Because I think because I just rather sustain a healthy economy, and I feel like if the more people in a country, the less likely you're going to be able to adapt and get all these people into it. Um,
Hmm.
but I
That's
mean, it's not a
interesting.
hatred for Mexicans, but yeah, just I don't want an economic collapse. So
2008 all over again.
exactly, yeah, Bill Clinton housing market stuff. Yeah.
I was born in that very year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little fucking baby.
Yes. You're the same age as Ninja.
Okay, wait, Ninja. Oh, this guy. I thought you were talking about low taper fade. Like,
No, no, no.
you
Like,
know what else is massive? The low taper fade meme.
yes, it definitely is. It's very good.
So massive.
I feel like we probably are gonna agree more than we disagree on economics. How do you feel about free healthcare?
Well, yeah, I live in Canada, so
Okay, so you guys already have that, and you're fine with it. You're cool.
I think that the healthcare system here is slower than it should be, but it's definitely
It is
so much better than the U.S. healthcare
for
system.
sure.
I think it's about as slow as the U.S. healthcare system in general,
Well, I
if
think
not a little bit slower. It's like it's faster than our traffic. I'll say that much. And our traffic here is terrible.
okay. I think like probably
Free
like
healthcare, yeah. Like
yeah,
for
like,
like
but I think the U.S. probably has faster healthcare just because it's privatized though. So
yeah,
like
no,
you're
I
not put
mean
on a
like
waiting list.
yeah, that
But like
is
Medicaid, if you're talking about like Medicaid where you get like free stuff, yeah, that's incredibly slow. I think the only way to but like yeah, I think the only way to have enough money to properly sanction that is to take as much money out of useless governmental programs as possible. And I don't think that
I
it's
think
possible to do that for leftists. So,
whoa. Well, I think just military spending is too high.
um, it depends on what aspect.
Having a
Like
military isn't necessarily a bad thing as much as I hate violence.
oh, so you just don't like the military. That's what it is.
I mean, I like guns, don't get me wrong, but
Oh, okay. So you're pro 2A. That's good.
I mean, I don't. The way I feel about firearms is a little more complex than most left. Most people on the left are like, "Oh, I don't. Firearms are bad." Yet firearms are a bad thing. Like they're not a good thing. But because
Yeah.
they already exist, it's kind of like, what are you gonna do about it? Because they're not a complicated system either. Like someone would just reinvent them if they were abolished anyways. Like they're not.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, if I could snap my fingers and zero guns would exist, then I would
And then they'd
totally
get
agree.
reinvented in a week. Like
Sure, yeah.
they're not. It's pretty simple.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Base Gabe in the chat. Okay, so I mean, yeah, I guess. What's your You want like restrictions?
On guns, I think they're.
Yeah.
I mean, here in Canada, we have a lot of restrictions on guns. I think we have much better gun safety laws than you guys do.
Okay.
Because you
I don't think
can't
people
get.
should be able to own an assault rifle.
You shouldn't be able to own an assault rifle. That's fair.
I think you should be able to
Oh,
own an assault
you
rifle.
think you should? Um.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to in my state, but I think you should be able to federally.
Uh, I mean, listen,
Just out of principle.
I like airsoft and shit like that.
Okay.
I think that's, I don't know. I just think I feel like automatic weapons specifically shouldn't be allowed in
Mm,
in any area that's urban. Like,
I mean, I don't have that. I wouldn't be pressed if that was the case. I mean, that's how it is right now. But I mean, for the most part, I feel like more weapons in the United States are probably a net positive because, like, statistically, they're gonna like stop a lot more crime than they're gonna commit. Like, people will shoot people who like run up on them in the ghetto and like try to stab them. You just shoot them in the head.
I mean, I don't like the idea of killing people, so
You
I
believe that you should be able to kill someone in the ghetto if they're like running up on you trying to
if
take your shit?
if they're trying to take your shit, you shouldn't kill them. You should just beat the shit out of them.
Well, I disagree. I think you have. I think you should.
I mean, I grew up.
If you can, like take them out without like if you're skilled enough to do that, then sure. But like I don't think there's anything morally wrong with like executing people who try to run up on you like that.
I think that there is some pretty big. I think that's very questionable. I wouldn't execute them. I would just disable them. I would just like shoot them in a non-vital area. Honestly, if I had a gun on me like that, like.
If I was caught up in the spur of the moment though, like you might accidentally shoot.
I don't know. I'm pretty accurate, so I don't know. I think I'm skilled enough to do that.
I mean, I don't feel bad for them. I feel like they're probably net positive with them gone. But like, I mean, if I could, like, just decapacitate them without killing them, I would probably do that. But like,
I have no idea how good the audio is on my stream, so can I check that real quick?
yeah.
I want to check how you sound versus how I sound. I want to make sure our audio levels are decent. Sorry. Just, no, wait, I clicked on your stream. I'm stupid. Are you using an M14 right now? I think I just saw that.
I'm using a.
I have no idea how good the audio is on my stream, so can I check that real quick? I want to check how. No, you're too quiet. I'm gonna turn you up.
Okay.
Okay, try talking.
Yo 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 yo.
Yo yo yo. Okay, now that's good. You should be good now.
Bet. Bet.
I wonder how I sound on your end. You probably have better audio settings, so.
Yeah, I got no clue.
There is great evil
Whatever.
in this place.
But why do you believe that
Possessing
it's
the
not like
remains of
a net positive
fallen
to like if someone's coming at you, you shoot him, you just waste him.
I just don't. I mean,
Like, why is that not a net positive?
well, because I value human life a lot, so.
But do you think that it's
Do I think
like
that they're a
intrinsically
good
valuable
person?
all the time?
I think people get desperate, and I feel like they shouldn't have to get that desperate in the first place. That's kind of how I think about it.
Okay. And what moral framework do you use to determine that life is necessarily valuable? Are you looking at it from like secular humanism, religious principles, or like which sort of way? Like,
I grew up around
familiar,
religion a lot, so that probably shaped some of how I think. But I mostly just view it as I personally, it's just my personal value, you know.
seek my flesh, but
Well, it's like a personal thing. Then, like, I mean, I guess we can't really argue about it because, like, it's just gonna be like I personally believe that.
I just like it
society
when
if they
people
get
don't
shot.
die. I don't know.
I am to survive.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that.
these
I don't think most
machines
people like it when other people die. It's emotionally distressing.
Could allow Germany to
Nah, I would
ensnare
disagree.
the
I think like if you're like if you could like see like a cartel member like get shot in the head, I don't think that'd be like a moral atrocity or anything.
It wouldn't be an atrocity, but I also wouldn't want to
Yeah.
watch that.
Maybe not, but I think you would like if someone like hurt your family or something.
If someone
like, let's
hurt
say
my
somebody
family, I
armored
probably
your-
would claw their face off.
There you go. So
But-
murder's not always bad. Or like
I would
no.
also just try to make it painful and not kill them directly. That's the thing.
Okay.
But maybe that's worse.
but that's like-
that's actually kind of worse.
But yeah,
honestly.
exactly. But you understand, it's like purely subjective. You know, like I have like an objective moral framework of religion that like tells me, and like not objective in the sense where what I'm saying is true. But,
It's
like,
what
I feel like it's
you're
important
you're
for-
saying. It's you follow a very solid
something that-
framework. It's
Yeah, like something that
solidified.
doesn't change.
Mine
Yeah.
doesn't change
So I
either.
feel
That's
like-
the thing. Mine has never changed. It's always
Okay.
been the same. So I guess you could say the same about my framework, as it's always been like it's always been kind of
Okay.
tit for tat, like
Cannot outrun my enemy in this
just
new
I don't know. I don't
But
know how to
if it's
explain
not
it. I've
from an
never-
outside source, like the
Mm.
secular humanist documents or the 30 human rights, then it's like if it's entirely subjective, then like we could just sort of like say like anything, right? Like I could just be like killing people is good because I feel like it's great.
I mean, that would be your personal feelings. I can't.
Okay.
samurai.
I would disagree with you, but I wouldn't like. I don't know
And do
how
you
to
think
argue
that,
that.
so you can say that I'm objectively wrong, right?
I mean, I'd say most people would disagree with you.
But they even if most people think something, it's not necessarily true.
That
but,
is
like we would
fair, I guess. Yeah.
So, and because of the fact that it's subjective, I personally believe that instead of following our own moralities, what I would propose is that society ought to follow a rigorous religious structure, so that way there are moral oughts and ought not tos. So that way there's less anarchy. It's my opinion.
I mean, my stance on, like, I'm basically, like, I'm pretty. I just died on round 5. I'm fucking stupid because I was trying to speak.
Damn, dog.
I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. Oh dear lord.
Shit, fam.
Origins.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
Origins, my beloved. Okay, well, what I was trying to say, what were we talking about?
We were talking about like objective versus subjective morality, and in my opinion, it's better to follow, even if it's not true, a religious rigorous framework, so that way people have oughts and ought not to, so that way humans are
That's
more
like a way
prosperous.
of natural law? Or
I wouldn't call it natural if it comes from a divine being, in my opinion.
mm,
But like, yeah, I think like the laws should be based off of Christianity, like per the Bible, not like religious institution.
which type of
Like
Christianity
what
would-
specific branch would I prefer? Like I'm fine with, I would be okay with anything, like Catholicism, Orthodoxy, Protestantism, any of those will work for me. But if you're asking like my preference, I would probably prefer Orthodoxy, but I don't care that much as long as it's the basic tenets of like, you know, 10 Commandments, the 200 Mosaic laws.
I mean, the way I
things
think
like
of it is, I
this,
think most of the core tenets that I remember when I was in Catholic school, it was mostly just a really agreeable stuff for the most
Yeah.
part. I don't agree with everything in the Bible directly. I don't agree
Obviously, you're-
with Christian like Christian nationalism or anything like that. I don't like
I love I'm a Christian nationalist. I love Christian nationalism.
I dislike nationalism. I dislike nations in general. But
Oh well, I don't. I love nations. I think everybody should be a nationalist and love America. It's my opinion.
I dislike my own country, which is fun.
Okay.
Even though
Well, your country sucks, so that's why you hate it.
it's better than yours. Don't lie.
I disagree. I think mine's a ton better.
We got free healthcare. How are you talking?
But you guys don't have free speech.
Actually, I actually completely disagree with you in that we're allowed to say much more than Americans are allowed to say, I think.
I don't believe so. Have you ever heard of what happened to Jordan Peterson? Do you know why he went so right wing?
I don't like him either, but
Because it doesn't matter if you like him. The point is like it happened because of free speech. Like he like got misgendered someone and then he almost lost his like PhD or whatever.
it's kind of funny.
Oh,
I mean, did he
okay.
do it on
Well,
purpose?
so you don't value free speech to begin with. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I mean, he's allowed to do that.
But free speech is not
He's
for
allowed to do
free
that.
speech is not for speech that you
Okay.
Free speech is not something that
Listen to
you
what I'm saying.
is for things that you disagree with, not what you agree with. Okay.
The thing about misgendering people is
Yeah.
if you do it on purpose, you're allowed to do that. It just makes you an asshole. That's pretty much my
Okay.
stance on it.
Yeah, that's fine. If a trans person's being respectful to me, I'll refer to them by their pronouns. I have no qualm doing that.
I mean,
But,
that's,
like,
that's fair.
but-
like you're allowed to. That's a pretty reasonable response. Like,
But like, if a trans person's being a dick to me, like, yeah, I'm gonna call him a him. But yeah.
yeah, you can do that. If I think that's mostly fair. Honestly, misgendering people who are just assholes isn't like. I don't have really any moral
Okay.
disliking of that. That to me doesn't seem like a huge issue at all
Hmm.
because it doesn't really.
Okay, well
matter.
that's good. No, but like I'm saying, like even if like I would disagree with Jordan Peterson on a personal level, just being provocative to do that. But like to even like social consequences, like losing jobs or PhDs, I believe in like fundamental like revisions to the First Amendment to include consequences like that. I think like Nazis and communists and like Stalinists should probably still be able to like live their lives and have jobs and things like
Well, yeah,
this.
you shouldn't lose your
in the United
job just
States.
because- I mean, if you're being an asshole to your entire, to like the people who you're working with,
Oh yeah, that's different. You're like making an unstable work
but if
environment. Yeah, you can
happen
fire
to
him.
be an asshole, and you have said something, but it doesn't affect anybody you're working with. Honestly, I don't see a problem with them being able to live their life.
Okay.
That's like
That's cool.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can live your life. That's how you want to live, as long as you're not just being a dick to like people around you constantly.
Your coworkers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like if you're not being a dick to your coworkers, I don't care.
that's fine. I'm pretty against like so I what do you think of like my opinion on the First Amendment? I want to revise it to include online speech. So like you don't have a right to ban anybody unless they do something illegal, like say something illegal. What do you think about that? Like restricting company rights.
I mean, look, Twitter exists. You can be
Yeah.
a Nazi on there just fine. I think.
I know it's great.
It's-
But I feel
It's
like you
crazy-
should
it's a
legally
crazy
enforce that.
response. As much as
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate Nazis and anybody
I hate Nazis too.
adjacent to them, I think
Okay.
that even though they're dangerous, I think them being able to talk is. As much as I don't like it, I also fundamentally think that you should be allowed to speak your mind. Now, whether people hate you for it or not is completely up to the people hearing you saying those things.
Absolutely.
So, people should
Yep.
be able to make fun of you for having stupid opinions.
100%.
So it's like, you could be a Nazi, but everyone's gonna hate you. So whether you choose to say
Yeah.
it or not is up to you.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree with that. That's a base take. I'm fine with that.
I mean, I'm pretty.
I'm fine with like social shaming. So yeah, you do believe in free speech then? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, of course I
um,
do, because I like people voicing their opinions. I like understanding other people.
Okay. A lot of leftists think that platforming people that have bad views is bad.
I think there's a time and a place, like, for it. It's like, there are certain things, you should be, like, okay. It's, if you don't want to work with someone who you disagree with, or you don't want to hire someone for that, I think that's fine.
Hmm. What about after the fact?
What do you mean? Like,
After you hire them, you find out they're a Nazi, you fire them.
depends on if they're fucking yapping and being assholes in the workplace, I guess.
Let's assume they're not doing anything in work.
Let's assume they're doing nothing.
That doesn't
but honestly,
impact
I'll
them,
probably just
yeah.
ignore it for the meantime.
Okay, base. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Like, I probably wouldn't work with them again, but
For
I wouldn't.
sure.
During that period of time, I wouldn't pry. I wouldn't want to start
Okay.
anything really. I'd most likely just avoid them.
Okay. So yeah, we agree on that then. Okay. So why do you So I'm assuming you think that the United States is or ought to be secular nation, right?
I'm gonna be so honest with you. I keep forgetting what the definition of that is.
So Christian nation, religious laws, secular nation. It's based off of majority rules, like the morality of the country, basically.
I don't know. I feel like it should be based off of the morality of the most educated people. If education isn't, like,
Okay.
if the education isn't unison like it should be.
I mean, that's cool. Do you believe in a constitutional republic?
I don't know what that means, if I'm being honest with you.
So it just means that so it's like the American system. We basically have I would say like the best way to put it is like so we have we have states here. I think you guys have provinces, right?
You know, you actually become the 11th province. No joke.
Nah, man, we're doing that in reverse right now with Trump, and everyone hates
Well,
it.
you guys are not.
But,
gonna take Canada. I'm sorry.
I think we have we probably won't, just because that would be weird. But we could if we really wanted to. I think we have a stronger military.
You have a larger military, but they're less well trained. That's the problem.
Okay,
Yeah,
I guess we'll
our
see about that.
military
I doubt it.
is really well trained, but we're way too understaffed.
Shit, man. I would say like.
I mean, we're the Canada is the entire reason.
Hmm.
I do not want to know what they did in World War One, bro.
What did they do in World War One?
Brutal. They brutalized every one of their enemies. Like, even like they didn't take prisoners.
Oh my god.
They just like they would makeshift. They would like melee kill people in their sleep. Like with like.
Well, that's not very nice.
No, they're not.
But I would say like I probably so like constitutional republic is like the best system in my opinion. It's basically when the states or the provinces take control of the voting system. It just means like it's not a direct democracy. It's not like each individual votes. It's like the states vote for the people. Like the people vote for a state, which then votes. I mean, yeah, basically.
Diverse system, dude. That's what they. That's Super Earth. Like.
Super Earth. No, it's what we have right now, a constitutional republic.
Your rifle boy 12?
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
You don't agree with having it, or you disagree
thought
that's what
about
we
it
have?
deeply enough to have any. Like,
Okay.
way
Because
of
I
exercising
don't
my
like
right to do it,
direct
because
democracy.
I don't know well enough about the American voting system, like, or voting systems in general.
What do you think? Do you know what direct democracy is?
I thought that's what you guys. Well, no, I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'd like a refresher.
So the direct democracy is basically mob rule. Every single person has their individual vote on a law to decide if it gets passed. I don't like that system, but what do you think? Because a lot of liberals support that. So yeah.
I'm don't call me a liberal. That would be very mean.
Oh, okay, communist.
That's unironically better, and that's the worst part because liberals are pussies.
I know. No, I think liberals are just smarter than you. I think you guys are just too radical. So you think that liberals are your ops because you're just that far left of the spectrum, like you broke out.
I think liberals to me seem centrist, if anything.
I mean, yeah, I guess in the United States.
United States.
I don't know why you would have. I don't know why you'd have more hate for them than conservatives. That's very odd.
Because they can't commit to shit.
Okay.
I like look. If you can commit to something, even if I disagree with you, look. At least your heart's in it, I guess.
Okay. All right. Never heard that one before. The washing machine over to a new portal. Okay. But so like if you are you a communist, by the way?
As far as I can tell, basically, I don't like the state very much, but you know what?
Okay.
I think it's probably necessary. In
Okay.
action, it's probably needed, even though I dislike it because it does take away some freedoms.
Nothing in the report
Generally,
about this place being
but
haunted, is there?
I think it's probably needed, yeah, for a functioning society.
This is Omega Group.
It's needed in some
They
capacity,
came
I
here
think.
and reactivated a long-dead Nazi experiment.
Okay, that's good. So what makes you not like because that seems like about what liberals think now.
This is quite progress. It would seem these creatures were once human. We should really get the power on before we make
Let me
any
turn off my
assumptions.
game audio so I can actually hear what you're saying and like. Sorry, ask me that question again.
So what makes you like not a liberal?
What makes me not a liberal?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have to know what your definition of liberal is.
It's somebody who sort of, I guess I would say, believes capital market regulations and extremely progressive social views.
I have very progressive social views, but
Okay.
RB.
I don't know. I think the thing is with like capitalism, as much as it is not, its current implementation is inherently flawed, and it is a flawed system no matter how you slice it. Communism hasn't really worked. Even though on paper it sounds better, it hasn't worked in the real world as well. Like some people are like, "Oh yeah, but China exists." It's like China's not actually communist. That's not communism. I'm sorry. It uses the word communism, but it is just it's just for aesthetic purposes, really. I think what I just said kind of sounded like a nothing word,
Yeah.
but
I think I have to diagnose you. It's just very unfortunate. I think you're a liberal. I don't think you have any different views.
I mean, if that's what your definition is, I guess you could say that.
What's your definition of a liberal?
Well, I mean, liberals seem to get upset by. They seem to get more upset than I do when people disagree. That's kind of the main difference. Is I'm not crying constantly. I'm not screaming at the sky like that one fucking meme.
Okay, that makes sense.
Even though it's terrible, like state of the U.S. and you know, as much as I do hate Donald Trump, you know, the Orange Man.
Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad, yeah. I don't like Orange Man, but I think most of what he does, I do think he just works entirely in his self-interest. If the U.S. swung entirely to the left, I feel like he would unironically just switch to left. Like I feel like he's just working in his own interests.
Interesting.
I think
So,
he's just completely
what
selfish.
policies does he promote, or like
He's currently
ideals that you
promoting,
hate?
Entirely right-wing stuff. He doesn't
Oh yeah, that's
believe in
awesome.
the religion he promotes either. I think that's pretty obvious.
You don't think he's a Christian?
No.
Why?
I mean, he only, as far as I can see, he only serves himself, really. I don't think he's
But,
like
like,
ideologically
Is there?
a fascist or anything.
Do you think like he doesn't? But do you think like he doesn't believe in like he's like
I
an
don't
atheist
think he actually
or
believes
just
in God. No,
okay?
I'm like 90%
So-
sure that he did in fact do some pretty bad things to some people that were not of age.
Are there any specific things I think? Is there any like specific instances of this that you can point
I don't
to?
know how to like, bro. I hear so much on a daily basis. I don't even know what to bring up anymore. That's kind of
Okay.
my like at this point. I'm also so distracted by this fucking video game.
So Martin Luther King, he was a Christian, but he also cheated on his wife multiple times. But that doesn't make him not a Christian. Or does it?
I mean, I don't know why he would cheat. That's kind of fucked up. I don't.
I mean, it's a bad thing, but like
It's a
people don't
very
say
bad
Martin
thing.
Luther King isn't
It's
a.
a very
People
bad
don't
thing.
say that. Oh yeah, it is a very bad thing. I agree. I would never do it. But
You'd never
no
cheat
one's
on Martin
going
Luther
around and
King's
saying
wife?
that. But Martin Luther King, like nobody like tries to deny his Christianity. I feel like they just do it because Trump is like it's convenient in the moment to say that.
That could be true. Honestly, I don't. I think, I don't. I think he, like, my fucking brain is so broken right now. Honestly, I don't even know what to say because I'm tired. I went to bed at 2 in the morning
Okay.
last night. Gonna be honest with you, I was not prepared for this. I just got off school.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Um.
So my bad if my arguments are not very good.
Oh well, I
I
mean, it's
didn't I
quite
didn't
all
I
right
didn't
because it
have any
makes me look
notes.
smarter than I
I
am. So
What?
it's all right because it makes me look smarter than I am.
No, it does. I feel like a buffoon right now because I didn't bring any notes with me like I meant to.
Yeah, man. Because you said that I was too simple, and look how the turn
Okay,
has tabled.
hear me out. Hear me out on that.
Why am I simple?
You seem like a simple man who likes simple things.
I do like simple things. I like God and family and capital market regulations. That's
That's
me.
a crazy combo.
That's it.
It's like a really funny
Yeah, oh,
way
yeah.
of saying that.
Yeah, it's like they're basically not connected whatsoever. But that's my 3 tenets of how to have a good society.
I mean,
I mean, I feel like
for some reason
I feel like
we were
I don't
gonna
know.
get more into like the weeds of our own, like just like personal, like what we are generally as people more like, I guess, like, I don't know.
Um,
I don't know. It
do
depends
you
on what specific topics you want to talk about.
I think that when more people believe in religion, there is less trust intrinsically in the state. Because in the USSR, they banned their religion and they killed all the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims, and then everyone sort
I
of
don't
trusted in
remember
the
hearing
state.
about that, but that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, so like, they basically like holocausted them, like Holocaust Part 1 or the prequel dequel.
I think that
Um
was the sequel.
and oh, the sequel. Okay. Yeah, the sequel dequel. And like then so basically everyone was left trusting the state, and then like when they got the breadlines, they were complaining in the newspapers, like the press, the public media. They're like, "Hey, this food's no good. We're all dying." And then but it was like too late because they took away the freedom of press. And I feel like it's a slippery slope if there's no like objective morality. What do you think?
I don't think objective morality exists because, like, I think
Not
you can,
not in a fact based sense, but like I mean like, like if people follow.
like, I feel like forcing people to follow a certain morality is kind of weird. Seems a little fashy to me, but
But I think but why?
because
Why is it fashion?
forcing things upon people, to me, generally doesn't seem.
But I don't think that's bad. Like if you force some, like there's a lot of things that you would agree with forcing people to do. Like I think we should make people pay their taxes. You wouldn't disagree with that.
I mean, that's, I guess, how the government makes its money. So
Yeah, I know. But like the point would be like, because like that's something that we force because it's for the greater good. And like we force people to
I mean,
not
if we
act on
could
their
outline, I feel like instead of using religion, we could just outline morality basis. I don't think there should be any legislation on social issues, though. Social stuff should be untouched, because I think
I disagree because incest, we all agree that that's bad and we legislate it, right? Even though it doesn't cause harm directly to another human being.
no, it does.
Assuming
'Cause
you're wearing
if another
protection,
kid-
let's
if a kid
not
is-
let's
if
not
a kid-
include pregnancy.
Oh, if you're not including pregnancy, that's
Yeah,
I guess. Be careful. I don't.
because like
know
if
it's
if you
gross,
don't
but-
think we should, because if you don't think we should legislate morality like I do, then you have to let incest happen, and I don't think anyone
I-
wants to do
the
that.
thing
So I
about
think
incest
deep
is
down,
I think it's gross, but you know what? If you're not having a baby out of it, there's technically nothing wrong with it, even though it's fucking gross.
really. So you agree that it should be legal?
No, not necessarily. It depends. It depends on how things are. I think you shouldn't be allowed to carry an incest child.
But besides that, like, can
Besides
you?
that, I
but
guess
I,
there's nothing you
do
can
it.
really do about it.
But you don't agree in making it illegal for two brothers or sisters to do sex?
I feel like I have to preface that I disagree with it on a moral level,
What do
like
you
on my
mean?
own personal morality. But
Okay.
I also don't think that I don't think no matter what, if you legislate it or not, people are probably gonna do it anyways. And I don't know. I think
Okay,
I personally
um,
think it's really gross. I would not do that, but if someone else is gonna do it and they're not gonna carry the child, I'm not gonna stop them.
Okay. In my opinion, I think that deep down everybody wants that to be legislated, whether they like it or not. Like I feel like deep down inside people are like, yeah, probably a net positive to make that illegal. Even though
would
it
be a
doesn't
net
directly harm
positive to
people.
make it illegal. It probably would be, but the thing is, also, I don't. Oh, motherfucker!
Why don't you think it's fine to legislate sexual behavior?
Oh, it was
Well,
my
most sexual
teammate.
behavior
I'm alive.
doesn't like. Well, it depends. I think sexual behavior
So-
that doesn't cause other people harm should be not legislated in any capacity. I think.
But what
sexual
if most
behavior-
people think it's immoral?
That's their own personal problem.
Ow.
I don't know what to say.
Okay.
God.
And do you have any why is that the best system to follow? Like if it doesn't cause harm to anybody else, then it shouldn't be illegal. Why is that
I
why
don't
is
know, I
that
feel like
something
pretty
that's
basic,
important?
Pretty basic take.
But I mean, is there like
I'm
for
not-
me, like I would be like the reason that I believe that we should legislate it is because I believe in a man in the sky and he says so. But like for you, like if if there's no source,
My
then
source
it's
is
like
that's just
there's
what
no
I
point.
believe is how I believe it should work.
But that's sort of like problematic if it's just something that like that's what you believe. No.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it, but I guess you do.
Because like well, I mean, yeah, because like the Humanist Manifesto, for example,
Humanist
the book
Manifesto,
that's
yeah.
supposed to be it's supposed to be the secularist guide to maintaining a stable nation. But like the problem is that like with religion, these are universal rules that never change. But when it comes to secularist works of all types, there are like frequent updates, and it just sort of depends on where the morality is at. Like, what's the morality of the day? And like that can change like rapidly. And like if people suddenly all get together and decide this is no longer immoral and we're gonna allow it,
The thing is,
then that's sort of a
morality isn't
dangerous precedent.
factual, so it's very hard to.
Well, I think we should just go based off of what's seen to work, and I feel like the religious West has always prospered because of religion. Like the Enlightenment, for example, like virtually every single person who was part of the Enlightenment of the USA, right? Like the 13 colonies, believed in like well, most of them were deists, but they believed in like the central tenets of the 10 Commandments and the 200 Mosaic laws. That's sort of like how we built like initially like Australia, Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. So I feel like if that's what works, and that's what it's been, then I see no real reason to change it.
Hmm. I mean, I feel like if you look at other countries that are more socialist based and don't use religion as their main groundwork, there's a lot of successful ones like Sweden, or like
Yeah.
or the Nordic countries, and those I think are a good example as to what other countries should be. I feel like they're probably the closest to.
Really, Sweden? Like Sweden? I don't like Sweden at all.
You don't like Sweden?
No. Well, obviously it's a
they're
given because
neutrality
it's
and
not
works
very
for you.
social. Because it's extremely like socially progressive, obviously. But it's also because of the fact that like their healthcare waiting list is like long enough to the point where it makes me uncomfortable, and then also because of the fact that like
I'm pretty sure their healthcare
the,
is better than
so, like,
Canada's. Their education certainly is their
um
education's I'm pretty sure the best in the world currently.
yeah, but like education is pretty subjective too.
No, education
And
is
like it
factual, so I don't know.
are you going based off of IQs of the people living there before
IQ
and
is
after
not
school?
an
How
objective
are
scale
you
of intelligence. That's the one problem.
So how are you measuring how well educated they are?
Mostly based off of scoring, I guess. But
Oh,
scoring
alright.
is
But every nation has its own different tests though and stuff like that. Like we have
yeah,
the
that's
SAT
part of
here.
why I don't like.
They probably have a different thing.
I feel like that's why things should be more like in more unison. Things are way too divided.
Okay. Well, I think the best way to connect everyone is religion. Like clearly that's different. But like I think like one of the biggest problems with their progressivism is like it's gotten to the point where like when a woman in Sweden gets pregnant and then she's delivering the baby, she has to sign off on a bunch of different checklists like while her man's in the same room. And there's questions that are extremely uncomfortable, like does your boyfriend slash husband abuse you? Has he R-worded you into having this baby? Or is there anything you'd like to tell us about this man
not
that
a
you're
bad
married to?
That's not a bad thing. Those are questions that should be asked.
They don't do that here
They should
or
do
in your
that.
country.
They should ask those questions. Those are very important questions.
I disagree. I think it's pretty immoral to assume that.
It's not an assumption. It's a safety net.
But we don't do that for like. Do you understand? Like we don't do that for anything else, like ever. Like that's never been a thing. Like that's like if your
We
parents
probably should do that for other things. Then if we're not doing it
for other, you think like when you go to school, and like you play with someone in the playground, and you're coming back from class, the teacher should like hand each kid a list. And be like, yo, let's point out if this student done anything to you that makes you uncomfortable.
That's a very different thing than having a child.
But it doesn't matter. If it's the same principle, it doesn't make a difference.
I'm very confused by what you're trying to say here. If it's something as large as having a baby, because that is what that thing is, I feel like no one should have to carry a child that was from something that they didn't do to themselves, someone else did to them. That wasn't their fault.
Yeah, but like that's the baseline, but you're like the baseline assumption is the problem here. It's like assuming that it's of a high likelihood that the woman was R-worded by the man.
At all, it should be
What? But statistically, it's an impossibility.
It's not impossible.
No, I'm saying it's a statistical impossibility, which means like it's like a very rare anomaly that rarely happens.
Are you saying it's statistically impossible a rape victim will get pregnant?
I'm saying it's statistically impossible that a husband who is married to a wife has R-worded her.
That is not
and
true.
forced her to have that baby.
That is not true. That has happened a lot of times.
What? So you think that the statistical odds are high in the United States?
High? No. But impossible? Absolutely not. It's possible. It's within the realm of possibility. 100% it is.
But that's not what statistical impossibility means. It means that the odds are astronomically low.
Astronomically, no, they're not astronomically low. Sexism in the U.S.
Really?
is terrible. I don't. So the
Sexism in the U.S. doesn't exist.
You're fucking with me, right?
No, I'm not. If anything, and I'm a Christian nationalist. I think if anything, there's more sexism against men. If there is sexism, it's against men. There's no sexism against women in the United States. On a legislative level.
On a okay. I think sexism on a legislative level is improved a lot.
And I think on a social level, it doesn't matter.
Abortion bans thing. What that's objective.
I think that's based.
Okay, so.
No, I think it's
that's
based. I think it's awesome.
To ban abortions, just like objectively.
Okay.
Like there's actual truth. I don't really know what to say to that opinion.
Okay, explain why it's sexist to ban abortion. You made the claim. You have to explain yourself, even if you think it's obvious.
It's restricting the bodily rights of a person based on their sex.
Okay.
Which makes
it's not based on
sexist.
their sex.
What?
Explain how it's based on their sex.
Because only biological women can carry children.
But is that why it is legislated? Because of the sex that the person is. If men could get pregnant, then the abortion ban would affect them too. Explain how it's legislated because of the sex. Explain how that's the reasoning that they have behind doing it.
The baby that, like, if that were the case, then yeah, it wouldn't be sexist anymore. It would just be really fucking weird because that would be
no, but they don't. That doesn't make any sense though, because gender clearly is not the reason that we want abortions banned. You know the reason that Christians want abortions banned, and you're choosing to make it a gender thing.
Not murder.
Yeah.
I mean, it depending on at a certain point.
But no. But if that's the Christian worldview, and we have that ethical framework, it would clearly be based on the life of the baby and not the sex of the mother. So explain again how it's sexist. How is it explicitly targeting women when if man could get pregnant, it would affect them too?
But they can't.
Yeah, well, womp womp. We view it as a life, it has nothing to do with the sex of the mother. How does it have anything to do with that? We don't view it that way. We view it as its own life.
Males can't get pregnant, and only females can. So
Okay.
restricting female bodily autonomy is automatically sexist.
Wait. Can you say that men can't get pregnant?
I said males.
Okay, yeah, I know. You would never say men can't get pregnant because that's a gender. Gender doesn't exist. Yeah, gender doesn't exist. That's a social construct. Only sex exists. So you can only be male or female.
I mean, gender is mostly a construct. Yeah, it's presentation.
Yeah, but so the only thing that we know for certain is real is sex. Therefore, you should only ought to be what your sex is.
No, because presentation also matters. It's a social construct. Everything is based on social constructs. Like that's how people.
But you should base and you should present yourself as your sex instead of what you want to present as.
No.
Yeah.
That's just restricting social freedom.
Good. I think it should be restricted. What basis do you have to say it shouldn't be?
That's fucking weird. I don't know. Why?
Okay, explain your basis for why social freedom shouldn't be restricted. It's weird is not an answer. Give me an answer. Give me an answer. No, it's not. No, it's not. You said social freedoms. You didn't say freedom of speech. That's one of many social freedoms.
Okay, so you think only freedom of speech is okay?
What about my social freedom to get naked in a mall?
I mean,
that's a social issue. Why should we not allow that to happen?
I mean, hygiene mostly.
How is it unhygienic to get naked in a mall?
I don't know, because maybe you're dirty and you have like diseases. I don't fucking know.
Okay,
Also,
how's that affecting anyone else? If you're not touching anyone else and you get naked in a mall, then how's it affecting anybody else but you? You should be allowed to do it according to your moral standard.
I'm so confused by what you're saying right now. I don't. Nobody
I know.
wants to, like, no sane person wants to get naked in a fucking mall.
That doesn't matter. Explain why it should be legislated.
I'm not saying it.
It shouldn't be it shouldn't be legislated. You should be legally allowed to get naked inside of a mall.
I mean, it can harm.
Instead of a
other
public
people
mall where
because it
everybody
would be
is.
Traumatizing for them to see that, I guess. I mean,
Okay, but what makes that bad? What if I think it's traumatizing to see a transsexual? Which I don't, but if I did,
I mean,
then what's to say that that's
I
you know?
have nothing against nudists, so I guess I don't really have anything against it personally. I just wouldn't personally want to get naked in a mall. So
it shouldn't be legislated publicly, though. It shouldn't be
It's not.
legislated.
I don't. It's a weird,
Okay,
it's
good.
Such a fucking weird
Okay, as long as you're being consistent, as long as you believe that you should legally be allowed to do that.
That's just a weird question. You caught me off guard. That made no sense.
I know everything catches you off guard. I'm aware.
Okay, that was really weird. I mean, the reason it confused me is because I felt like you were trying to get some other angle, or like, it just didn't.
Well, because we were talking about abortion, and you said it was sexist, and I was saying that it wasn't sexist because I have a Christian worldview, and the reason that a Christian worldview would not want it legislated, is because we believe that it's the birth of a person, and it's a life that God already knows, and so it should be protected. And so it has nothing to do with the sex of the mother, so it can't be sexist, because if it was going to, it doesn't matter. That's my moral framework I'm working with. You don't have an alternative one. You believe in subjective morality, right? You believe in subjective morality, so it doesn't matter. We're going with my moral framework for this one, because the Christians are the ones who legislated it. So through a Christian moral framework, how could it be sexist? If men could get pregnant, it would affect them too. It's just that they can't. So womp womp. It only affects women. There are tons of things that only affect men that don't affect women, like the draft. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. That's not a prayer supposition. Oh, because it only affects one gender. That makes something sexist. That's stupid. Okay. Do you believe that that's sexist against men? The draft?
If your country only drafts men, then yes.
It only affects men.
In America.
So the draft is okay. So
American draft.
You think you think the draft is sexist?
In America, yes, 100%.
Okay. Are courts skewed against men? Is that sexist against men? If a man has to pay child support, is that sexist? Because child support only affects men most of the time. Okay. What if the man wants to see the child and the woman kicks them out, which happens a lot of the time, and then she makes them pay child support?
Weird.
Okay, well, most people would disagree with that, because that's how it works right now. And also, if the woman wants the baby, but a man doesn't want a baby, and she decides to give birth to it anyway, that's sexist, because it's not two people deciding whether to keep the baby, right? In your worldview, is that would only be affecting the man if he doesn't want to have the child and she does.
I mean, why just use a condom? It's not that hard.
Okay, so just use a condom. Don't get an abortion. There you go. I agree.
Yeah, just use a condom. It's not that hard. And
just use a condom. Don't have an abortion, right?
You can also have an abortion if it's needed, but
that's only affecting the man, though. If we allow for abortions, then that's a choice that is only granted to the woman and not to the man. Therefore, in your worldview, it would make it sexist. Not in mine, because I don't think anything is intrinsically sexist because it only affects one gender. But the decision of abortion only falls onto the woman, not the man. So in your worldview, that should be considered sexist.
Your logic is breaking my brain right now.
Everything breaks your brain.
No, that's not true.
Yes. Every single thing I've said has broken your brain. That's what I thought.
The burp?
That's the burp of submission. Yeah.
I'm not a sub. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Oh no, I could tell that you are.
You're saying that to a 17-year-old.
Your girl wears the pants.
What?
Yeah, and I'm 19. It's a 2-year age difference. I don't give a shit. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with that. There's
I mean,
but yeah,
guess
I'm
that's
and
a
I'm
little-
straight too, so it doesn't matter. But yeah.
I mean, I am of legal age in my own country, so
Okay, there you go. So that's not a good talking point.
I was mostly trying to be funny because the legal age in
Oh.
the U.S. is 18.
Okay.
In
Well,
most
that-
states, in
okay,
most
that-
states, and not in every
okay.
state.
All right, I'm fine with that. And then if it was just a joke, then that's cool.
Like, I got nothing wrong with humor.
Okay. But yeah, I just don't think the banning of abortion is sexist at all. I think it's great. I think it's super based. I believe in exceptions though. I think if it's like incest, like for the mother, if it's a child giving birth,
If it's a child, if
it's
abuse,
anything
or
like
if it's
this.
rape, yeah, 100% it should be allowed.
yeah, absolutely. That's my opinion. Yeah.
That makes sense. See, that makes you not weird. I feel like you shouldn't. I feel like if in any other case, why
You think it's weird to ban it? You think it's weird to ban it in any way whatsoever? I think that's more weird.
I think it's weird to just get an abortion. Like, why are you getting an abortion if you could have used a condom at that point? But in other like that's a problem on the person's fault. It does not mean they should have to face consequence by.
Yes, it does, because the man would have to face consequences and they don't have the decision. And in your worldview, if it only affects one gender, it's not right.
What does that even mean?
What I mean is you were saying before that since it only affects women, it is sexist, an abortion ban.
If
And
someone
my
affects a
argument
man, it's also sexist. I mean, and if
Yeah,
it's-
I know, but that's the problem with what you're saying, because intrinsically, if you allow the woman to have the right to have an abortion and the man is no say in it, then that means the life of the fetus and the responsibility of it completely relies on the mother. And that's a right that a man does not have to voice his opinion on. Therefore, allowing abortion is sexist against men. If taking the right away is sexist against women. Now, I believe that just because something affects one gender does not make it intrinsically sexist. So I believe in the draft, and I believe in banning abortion. I'm fine with both of those things. But you think that if something only affects one gender, that it's intrinsically sexist, which is just ludicrous.
But it's the woman's body. It's her body.
And it's my body if I get drafted, and it's also not her body once it's a new singular cell organism.
You also
It has its own strand of DNA.
You know I disagree with the draft, so I don't know how that's supposed to work against me. Also, it isn't life until like how many weeks in does it become? I don't remember what it was.
Okay, well, why do you believe it's not life if it has its own DNA?
Because it's not even formed yet, like into a living being. If it can't live on
It doesn't matter.
it like what do you mean it doesn't matter?
Because it can't live on its own. Neither can a coma patient, and we don't kill them.
That's a really funny argument. Yeah, but coma patients. The thing
Okay.
with people in comas is that's usually left to the people looking over them to decide. They're not just automatically like. It's left
But
for their family.
the problem with the coma is that like if you are going to live and like they know that you're going to survive the coma, then they can't kill you. But in an abortion, you know the baby's going to be alive and you can kill it. So that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know how to rebuttal that because that is the most insane argument I think I've ever heard.
I know you can't rebuttal anything I've said. I know that's the problem.
I have a few times, I'm pretty sure, but
No, you haven't. You haven't rebutted a single thing. Name
I
one.
think that's just a personal grievance of yours that I don't have. I disagree with. Like,
Why? Because it's weird. That's a stupid reason.
I just simply.
I think it's weird to want to kill your own child, but that's not really an argument.
It's not weird to not want to have a child.
It's weird to kill your own child, though, in the womb.
It's not a child.
Also, in my opinion, I think that everybody should have their own children. I think that it is a little bit weird if you don't want to pass off your offspring And you would have no way of rebutting that because
You're
your
like a
morals
rabbit,
are
you
entirely
You
subjective.
just want to breed, make more. That's
No, I don't want not in that way. I don't think that you should be forced into anything, but I think it is weird if you don't want to spread your offspring. So that you
not when the world, I don't think it's weird because the way things are is already bad, and it's only gonna like there's no real point in having kids when everyone's just gonna die anyway. Is kind of how I think about it.
I know because you don't believe in
It's a
God. That's the problem with
selfish-
y'all's worldview.
Well, yeah, it's your.
If everyone's gonna die anyway, we should all commit suicide and we should become antinatalists.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Because you said that there's no point in you don't know what an antinatalist is?
No, I've not heard that term before.
I'm not surprised. So antinatalist just means that you think that it's best for the Earth if humanity kills itself, and because it's best for the Earth, it's
I
just
don't
a
think
moral
humanity
thing to
should-
do.
I don't
We should
think
all.
just kill ourselves. No.
Okay. Do you agree that humanity inherently harms the Earth?
No, as a concept, humanity does not harm the Earth. Humanity,
Okay,
in its
great.
current form, is hurting the Earth, but that doesn't mean that it can't. It cannot. It has the ability to not hurt the Earth. That is a thing that can happen.
Okay.
We're
I'm
just
glad
not
that
living
you
that life
agree
as-
on
as
that.
we currently are.
Okay. That's fine with me. And I'm more on the left when it comes to environmentalism. I believe that we should limit CO2 emissions, and I believe in nuclear energy. And
Yeah, nuclear energy is pretty
so-
good.
yeah. So yeah, I'm not like delusional about any of that.
Only about some other.
But,
things.
like, no, not at all. I think all of my positions are the normal ones, and you're delusional.
You think I'm delusional?
Absolutely, because you don't think that murdering or you don't think abortion is inherently wrong, and the reason that I think that that is
The way I think
is
about it
because
is
you-
abortion shouldn't be my choice because I'm like, it's not my body, therefore it should not be my choice.
man. But then if it's the woman's choice, then that takes away your choice in something, and you said that
in something that's
if you're gonna
is not.
But if you're
my-
going to concede that, like, that's fine, then that's fine. But like, you can't. Then you just can't say that just because something only impacts one gender makes it sexist. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, to be sexist, it would have to imply that, like, even if it could go the other way around, they wouldn't do it. And there's no way of proving that.
I feel like I would hold the exact same stance if I was a woman, though. That's the thing. Like,
I wouldn't.
are you saying that if you were a woman, you'd want abortions to be available? Is that what you just said?
No, I'm saying that I would want them to be banned. You know that most people in pro-life organizations are women?
Yeah, they're all radicalized.
Speechless.
But sure. I think I've heard that.
Speechless. I know.
I think that that's an incredibly radical belief. I feel like, okay,
Half
listen,
of country, half of America believes it, and I'm sure a decent portion of Canadians too.
Okay,
So
listen to this. Listen to this.
radical means it's on the fringe.
Oh my god, I had something to say, and now you've made me forget it. Jesus Christ. It was
Alright,
a
I'll
very
give you
good
some time.
point. I had a really good point set up. Fuck me. I can't believe I forgot it. Oh no.
Okay,
Now I
I'll
feel
give you a
stupid.
minute to think about it.
Give me a moment.
Alright.
Well, let's walk through that last little bit so it comes back.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm lost. Fuck this.
Well.
Yeah, I forgot what
I
was
guess that
saying.
makes me right about everything ever.
That's not how that works.
Of course, it's how it works.
That's and
That's
insane
always
shit.
how it's worked.
I don't think that's how it's worked.
For all of human history, that's how it worked because that's how I feel.
Good for you, I guess.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The fuck? The reason I've been so speechless is because all of this shit is just so out of pocket. Like,
Isn't
I
this
feel
what
like
every
you have-
conservative says ever?
What?
Isn't this like what every single conservative says
No,
ever?
No, it's not.
So you think conservatives are pro-abortion?
I know some conservatives who absolutely do not give a fuck what other people do.
But you are aware that most conservatives like would check the box and pro-life, right?
In their own personal lives, yes, but I feel like
No, I think the majority of conservatives definitely supported overturning Roe v. Wade.
that's, to me, that's just removing people's rights, and I feel like you can't
I don't
do
think
that.
there's any. I don't think rights intrinsically exist, but that's another conversation. Even if we go with the American constitutional definition of rights, I would disagree that that's in the rights. I don't think that's like written inside of the rights anywhere, even if they do exist.
It should be right. Like your own bodily. It's your own.
It's
bodily
not in
autonomy.
the. We have rights. Like we have a list of human rights, and it's not in there though.
I mean, it should be. It's your own bodily.
Why?
Bodily autonomy related. It should be a human right automatically.
But that's dumb because you couldn't do it by yourself. If it's something you could do by yourself, then it could be like a human right. But because of the fact that you need somebody else to do the abortion for you that's an expert in it, I don't understand how if something requires another person who's an expert in a field to do something, I don't know how that could be a human right. Do you think rights exist?
I think rights exist. I think
Yeah.
rights are made up.
I think rights are a social construct. That's what
I mean, technically they are. I guess they're
base.
a construct.
There you go. We're getting
They're
somewhere.
Okay, they're a construct enforced by the state, obviously, to control what you do, and I think that in itself isn't necessarily a good thing.
Okay.
Like that's kind of the way I would describe it. Because outside of that, outside in the real world, outside of us, outside of a state, you have the right to do whatever you want, really.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't think there are some things I do think you probably shouldn't be allowed to do, but like
Cool. I just think that abortion is one of them.
yeah, that's where we just disagree on that. That's I guess that's,
Okay. But why do you I don't like why should you value rights outside of like a religious context? Like I wouldn't understand any reason to value it if it goes against what you believe. If you don't have like a religion telling you not to infringe on people.
You shouldn't infringe on what other people do, really.
But why but there's like virtually no reason to think that unless you have a god that's telling you that.
Because I control my own thoughts?
So you're just again, that's the problem with everything. It just goes back to being subjective.
saying that we
That's why I
shouldn't
think
be- are you
everybody
trying to
should
say
be a
we
Christian
shouldn't-
nationalist.
Are you saying we shouldn't be free thinkers?
I wouldn't go that far. I think the beginning of knowledge comes with the submitting to God. So yeah.
Insane work.
Oh yeah. I mean that's literally like a good direct quote from the Bible.
That, I mean, I disagree
The
with you.
beginning of knowledge begins with the fear of the Lord.
I mean,
That's just the truth in the booth.
that's in the Bible, sure, that is what it says. I haven't read the Bible in a while.
That's why you believe these crazy things.
If I read the Bible, I wouldn't believe it. Like, that's not how it works. I wouldn't just automatically believe it.
Of course you would.
I've started
Why
reading
wouldn't
the
you?
Bible. I read it like past Noah's Ark or whatever, because that's my name. It's Noah. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
I got bored.
What you got? You can't get bored of the Bible. It's ridiculous.
Why the fuck is water coming out of this guy? What the fuck? I shot a guy and now he's like leaking water. Is this...
Shinaka fam.
Forgot I added water physics to Gmod. It's kind of funny. Fuck you, Adler. Oh, fuck. Anyways. What were we saying? Hello? Guy? Broski? I think. I guess he's gone. Okay.
All right, fams, I'm back. Yeah, just had to do something, but yeah.
Yo, where the fuck did you go?
My parents made a rotisserie chicken, so they had to give me some.
Do you have a job?
Yep. Who doesn't?
Me, because I'm in high school right now and I'm working at school.
Well, one day.
I will. I have had a job before.
Oh, okay.
It was easy, but I have to go to the store. My dad needs me.
All right. Well, this
Oh.
was the greatest debate of all time.
I didn't say I was leaving forever.
Oh, okay.
I might come
All right.
back, but for now, I think I'm gonna dip.
All right. See
My
you,
dad,
fam.
I have to go pick up cat food.
Bip.
See ya.
See you, fam.
I looked really bad in this. Mostly because I did not bring the notes that I meant to bring. Whoopsies. That was a nice burp. God damn. Oh my my god, what the fuck is going on with me? Yeah, I'm gonna go to the store.
You don't think he's a Christian?
No.
Why?
I mean, he only, as far as I can see, he only serves himself,